So the other day I had a dream about a boy whose father left him to be a man at the age of 6. Too young to understand, but as time went on, he stopped calling him dad, and now he refers to him as just being a sperm donor. He would always get upset every time someone would say, "Wow, you look just like your father." Prejudged and destined for failure, some even said his life had no purpose. Well, I rose from that dream just to let you know that in fact I am an inspiration. DNA of a Haitian, I spit words colder than a fiend, needed a hit after a long night, high off life. See, what you know about being a poet and not knowing anyone in the room except yourself. When your gut's having conversation with your nerve because everyone that came before you made it seem so easy. Determined to be heard, your thoughts goes into a state of shock trying to remember, well, what was your reason for wanting to be known as a poet? See, what was once a dream quickly became a reality within a matter of rights. Concept after concept leaking from the depths of your mind. Your best pen can't win for losing when its ink takes off with no navigation. You see, writing for me is something like an addiction. I'm a loner with that pen and pad. I write, you listen. Confessions never felt so sweet. I'm a product of my environment. So what you see is what you get. Who am I? Well, let's just say I'm your #1 contender. Born at Jackson Hospital, but raised at the literary cafe where Will, the real one, told me to run. And so I did. I stumbled but never fell, cracked but never broken. What you know about making your pain to a room full of strangers? You see, my life is your poem. Catch 22, I need y'all to understand this. Why? Because in actuality, I'm writing for us, for those. Whoever thought about stepping on stage just to get a peace of mind? For that child who's too afraid to attend school because bullying continues to be a problem. For that single parent who has to fulfill the responsibilities of being a mother and a father. And for that little girl, constantly feeling the pressures of having to look pretty at the age of 3, fine at the age of 10, but fake by the age of 20. I'm writing for y'all, because y'all inspire me to be great. So from here on out, I'm using my stage presence to speak to the masses and pick up where good music left off. Because our kids shouldn't be too concerned how another brother should move drugs. You want justice? Well, I'm asking for peace. Some of y'all get happy when they free your favorite artists. But what about those innocent people that's dying on our streets? R.I.P. to those you lost. I came to grab a hold of your mind. So consider this a security breach. But what's the purpose of having a voice if you can't speak? So until then, I'm gonna let my pen leak, hoping that the words I speak speaks itself into existence. So when you play this back, you'll remember the day, the time, and the hour I demanded your attention. Politically correct, but I'm far from a politician. Spreading love is my mission. I be that last strike from Cupid's arrow looking for a heartbeat. Inspired to motivate all those that are weak. So for the last time and for this episode, I need y'all to be the model.
On the next Be the Model, we interview business tycoon, entrepreneur, role model, creator of Double S brand So Serious, motivational speaker, founder of the Blueberry Bliss wine, Will Seri'us.
What's going on, bro? Good. Today on Be the Model, we got a special guest today, Will Seri'us, entrepreneur, businessman, poet. He's a motivational speaker, and today we're here to find out exactly what it is and what he does. So Will, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Good
How
to see
you
you,
doing, man?
Long
Long time, brother.
I know, man. Thanks for having me.
Let the viewers know exactly who's Will Seri'us, what is it that you do, and where you came from, brother.
Well, listen though, just in general, the term serious, I think it resonated for me more so just with the people I knew and the people that knew me. Growing up playing basketball, I was always known as someone who was always serious about the game. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes people would just say, you know what, you need to smile a little bit, stop being so serious. Mm-hmm. So being able to establish that name early on, that just was a natural thing. Yeah. But, growing up, coming of age, it became the person who I am, and it became a brand. I wanted people to kind of like exude how serious they were in nature. So the first thing that I established, of course, was a t-shirt and a fitted hat line. Just giving people a confidence level. You know what I'm saying? Rock your seriousness. Yeah. Be open, be mindful, say what you want to say at the end of the day. And then from that point on, it went from me just kind of like falling in love with my community all over again. Starting a mentoring program. So when you ask who is Will Seri'us, Will Seri'us is all the things you mentioned. I'm an entrepreneur, a business owner, but I'm more so someone who is about culture, who is about their family and their community at the end of the day.
Okay. You mentioned the kids. Like, what is it that you do and regarding kids? Tell them about your program.
Yeah.
And all that.
So I have a mentoring program that caters towards young boys between the ages of 8 and 18. Okay. Now what we do is we try to teach them tangible skills. For me, I grew up in a household that was of a single parent. My mother raised me the best of her ability. I love her to death, but not for nothing, there are some things that a woman can't teach a young man. And honestly, that played some insecurities in my life, especially when I got into a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I never knew how to learn how to change the tires. So in my eyes, I was like, I hope my girlfriend don't get a flat tire, because if she called me, it's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But that was an insecurity that I had in myself. So as a mentoring program, what we do, we teach those tangible skills. We teach young boys how to change tires. We teach them how to cook.
Absolutely.
We teach them how to write, how to communicate, just in general. Because little do you know, as you get older, you realize the effects of not having a father figure in your life and how that plays in your growth in the aspect of you becoming a man.
Okay. And what upcoming projects do you have? Like, what do you have going on right now?
Yeah.
How can people see you or get to see you? I mean, do you have any events?
Yeah,
Can you talk to the
absolutely.
people?
So aside from the mentoring program, like I said, the term Serious is mainly catered towards really servicing our community, right? But I quickly found out how contagious people were about knowing who exactly I was as a person. So I kind of evolved as the years went on, and what that means is I do poetry as well. So poetry is a strong love of mine. Being able to communicate yourself, not having a father in my life, I had to find ways to express my emotions and to speak, right? So naturally, I started writing poetry, started holding events. Currently, I do a monthly event by the name of Poetic Strokes and Musical Notes.
Poetic Strokes and Musical Notes.
Poetic Strokes and Musical
Okay,
Notes.
I like that.
And what we do is, considering the times in which we live in, COVID-19, I wanted something a little bit more intimate. Yes, I'm used to rocking out stages with about 100, 200 people, but this COVID-19 allowed us to kind of like dumb that down and create an intimate setting. So right now, Poetic Strokes only have or caters to about 60 people max. So you gotta get your tickets, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But what we do, we feature 3 artists, different artists, a poet, sometimes a singer, a musician, a comedian. Kind of like to create that vibe of like when you go and travel outside of Florida. Mm-hmm. One thing I do love is traveling, and I found that going out to places like Atlanta, there's a strong social environment, right? And that's what I'm just trying to create here for South Florida.
That's good. That's what's up, man. So we have a lot of people who want to be like Will Seri'us, looking up to you, man. What advice would you give them?
You think so? I appreciate that.
What advice would you give them trying to come on their own, trying to get into the game, trying to be a poet, or just trying to put their name out there?
Yeah.
You know?
So for me, it was never about trying to put on or trying to reach a certain pinnacle in life to be seen. Believe it or not, I'm the shyest person you'll ever meet. Mm-hmm. But one thing that drives me is knowing how people want to be heard. Yeah. And I had a message, you know. I'd rather be respected than seen at the end of the day. So for me, I realized through my words, there are a lot of people who can relate to some of the things that I've gone through in life. And the biggest mistake that we can make is to go through things in life and not share that with anyone else for them to go through or be able to go through some of the things that they've gone through, right? So for me, I love to share, I love to educate, I love to let people know, like, listen, I am raw. I am who you see. I'm a product of my environment. And at the end of the day, like, we all make mistakes, but you know, it's how you handle it at the end of the day. So for me, when you think about the Serious brand and all that we do, you know, I really try to evolve in so many different aspects. I know I mentioned the mentoring program, me doing poetry. Aside from that, I have my own hookah company.
Okay.
And alongside with that, I've curated my own brand of wine, as you can see right here, right?
Okay.
So when you think about it, yeah, this is it right here. This is it. And the second flavor comes out February 13th.
And this flavor's, what's the name of this one right
So
here?
this is my first flavor. This is like my first child. They say your first child is the one you love the most, but I got kids. You know, my second is one of my favorite. But Blueberry Bliss is the first brand that I've curated, and for me it has been everything that I could imagine. Again, just being a person of interest. Like I love to tap into different markets.
Okay.
And when you think about hookahs, right? What goes well with a great hookah? Nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so how can people find this blueberry? Is there a certain website?
Yeah.
I mean, how do they?
So right now, I've been blessed to partner up with one of the, in my opinion, one of the best wineries here in South Florida. It is black owned. It go by the name of English Brown Winery.
English Brown Winery.
English Brown Winery, and it's black owned, and it's spearheaded by a woman at that. You know what I'm saying? Her story is amazing. I would encourage you to research her and possibly do an interview with her as well, because she has an amazing story on how she was able to start her own winery. Why can't we be business owners, you know? So again, if you're ever interested in anything that I do, you can find me on any social media outlet at Will Seri'us, WILLSERIUS. That's Facebook, Instagram. I don't tweet. I don't know how to tweet. I don't TikTok. I don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Facebook,
Instagram, and feel free to email me if you want. If you're interested in any of the services that I mentioned today, you can find me. You can email me at serioussmoke305@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, what advice would you, if you could, give your younger self on how to do this again?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a great question. If I had an opportunity to meet a younger version of myself, I would possibly just tell them, look, expect the unexpected. Because a lot of times we move with the intentions of just how the world is moving at that time, right? Mm-hmm. And we never expect things such as COVID-19 to happen, to hinder things. Yeah. So I would tell the younger version of myself to kind of like expect the unexpected and never get shook by how the state in which we're living in at that moment. Continue to fight, continue to dream, continue to write, continue to just motivate those that are around you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well said. Final question, Will. What does be the model mean to you?
Man, looking cute like as well as I do. All jokes aside, man, be the model. You know, and when you brought this to my attention, I was really humble. So before I answer that question, I want to thank you for creating a platform for folks like myself to kind of like say, wow, you know, this is us getting our roses while we're still here.
Yeah.
So thank you for creating that.
No problem.
But be the model for me is kind of like a moment of gratitude, because when you're in the moment and you're doing so many different things, you forget all the things that you're doing, you know, and how many people it impacts. So being a model is being encouraged, is continuing to do what you do, not giving up. I think it provides kids a visual, because kids are visual. You can talk to them all day of the week, but if they don't see you doing what you do, then they can't paint a picture for themselves. So being a model is just really being an upstanding person, being humble, being honest about yourself. Because that's something I had to do. I had to be honest to myself and say, okay, if you want to put yourself on the forefront, then you have to start doing the right thing. Because the last thing I would want is to have to ask somebody, listen, purchase a bottle of wine, but then again, I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn how to take accountability for yourself. So when you talk about being a model, it's all about taking accountability for yourself and dreaming big.
Nice. And there you have it. We got Will Seri'us, prolific speaker, poet, motivational speaker, businessman. Check out his wine, definitely. Follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Find out all his upcoming events and all that. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you, man. Thanks for
Appreciate
having me, man. Can we cheers? Can we cheers?
Nice, man.
Cheers to you, my
All
brother.
right.
Yo.
Be the model.